Alright, welcome back to the next video. We're going to be talking about, you just got a dog. We're going to talk about some items that you need, but there are two that you must have to have a good relationship with your dogs and be able to control them. These are the two. We'll be talking them in the video. Let's go. Alright, welcome back to Ranger Dog Training. We're going to be talking about what you need to have for when you get your dog and you're bringing them home. There's two very important ones I always tell people to get is a good leash. I like using a leather leash. It's just comfortable on it and all that. We can keep that. There's other leashes that you can get. You can get a cotton nylon, and we'll talk about that in a minute. And also a real good one is a slip lead. Slip leads are really good because if you want to try to slip it over your dog's head, as it intensely says, slip it over their head, it's easier than clipping the buckle on it. The reason why you need to have one of these, especially if you have a rescue dog and it comes into your home, we always tell our rescues to tell their adoptees to keep a leash on the dog for at least 2 weeks. Just let them drag it around. If you have an old leash, you can even cut it and make it shorter. The reason we want you to do that, you can have more control over the dog. Do not give them free roaming in the house. If you give them free roaming in the house, they're gonna get into trouble. When you're not looking is when they get into trouble. So if you have a leash on the dog, you can control them, come with me, or even if they start getting up on the couch, getting on the couch, and you go to grab them by the collar, they might turn around and snap out of the growler. They're not used to that. But if you have the leash, you grab that leash and you pull them off and you'll say no. And usually with the first week, I tell people when you get your first dog, let them decompress. Some dogs decompress within a day or two. Some dogs will take a week. Some will even more. Let them decompress. We're not going to ask them for too much. Do not give them too much stimulations of having all kinds of stuff. So much company coming over. Do it gradually because we don't know where they've been through, what they've gone through, where they came from. They may be a dog that was locked in the backyard. It was never inside a house. So give them time to decompress. New sounds, new smells, new people. So they can build a relationship with you and just let them work their way through it. But having the leash on your dog, you can control them a little better. I want you to go here, I want you to come here, take them for a walk, and get them to that. We're going to go over some leashes. I like leather leashes because they're easier on the hands, they last pretty well. You want to buy a good quality one, and we'll have them in the link of where I've gotten them on Amazon or other places. Is you want to make sure this clip is pretty strong because you don't want them to be able to pop it real easy. So we'll have that. There is cotton leashes or nylon, people call them nylon. I want you to get a good quality one. Some of those nylon ones are very thin and they can burn your hand if they pull, but if you get a cotton nylon, and if you kind of look at this one, it's pretty thick. You get that, so you get that, and also check the buckle, make sure it has a good buckle. Now we got the slip lead, sometimes it's called a British lead, and it's just a leash that's going to slip over the head of your dog. There'll be a little tab that we can pull and slide to fit the size of the dog. We want to take this and fit it up close to the ears. You'll have more control of the dog that way. But it's very important to have a good quality leash. Collars. Flat buckle collars, I call them Gucci collars. Basically this is where you're going to put their bravery tags or identification tags and all that going to be on there. Some of the flat collars have buckles on them, and they're plastic. They can break easily, so I don't want to depend on this to hold my dog. So I'd rather you to get a martingale collar. And a martingale, this one on a big dog, has usually 2 loops. Sometimes it's metal on the top. And basically what it does is it'll pull down and tighten up if the dog tries to back up. On a flat buckle collar, a dog can easily back out of this. It's going to be less likely for them to back out of this. So these are the 2 collars. Like some people like to say they want to get a harness. A harness is all right, but you can't control a dog with a harness. We're putting that onto the strongest part of the dog's body, and they're going to pull more. They're going to pull you forward, pull you left. You know, some harnesses with the front buckle is a little bit, it knocks them off balance, but you can't control what you want the dog to do. Is if you have a collar or a slip lead on the top of the neck. And we'll talk about more about training collars that we can use in a video in the future. Some dogs like to play with toys. You want to get a good quality toy that like a Tug Toy, and be able to play tug with them, or a ball. You know, I have a ball on a rope that I can swing around and get them action, and then throw the ball to get them into it. There's a hole on the bottom. You can even add kibble to it. So a good quality toy can help them out. And now we're going to talk about crates. Crates are good things for your dog. I usually tell everybody, if you get a dog, at least crate train your dog for a year. You know, it happens if they have to go to the vet office and they're going to have to stay overnight, or if they have to go on boarding, or if you're traveling and you have to take a dog with you and you have to have a crate, so it won't be so traumatic, stressed out. What's up, Mr. King? This is Mr. King here. Traumatic. There's different types of crates. There's your typical wire crates, your airline crates, more like this, and they even have some big metal crates that if you have a real dog with big separation anxiety, will help them with that. But the reason I like the airline crates is dogs are den animals. They're den animals, and as a den animal, they like to watch out the front of the den and guard. There's three things dogs think about when they wake up: where they're going to sleep, what they're going to eat, and who's out to kill them. It's just an animal kingdom. Lots of times we humanize the dogs too much. The reason I like the airline crates due to the fact is it's kind of enclosed on three sides, so they only have to watch out the front door. So it's less stressful for them. But also with the wire crates, I've seen them, they have the tray on the bottom, and there's a little wire across the bottom of the door, and I've seen dogs pull and bend that up and try to get their head under there and get stuck, and some dogs have died from that. Bedding inside the crate, if your dog's not a chewer and all that, put the bedding in there. Here's another item, it's called a Primo Pad, and I'll have a link in the description. But it's just, not only has a soft pad underneath it, they can scratch on it, and it's harder for them to chew up, but they can have that in the bottom of the crate, and they come in many sizes and many colors. Other thing I always recommend is place board bed. This is a bed where you can teach the dog to go on it, and it's really good. Some of them are really mesh that air will flow through it, keep them cool in the summertime, but it gives them a target where if we start training them, teaching them to go to a place and to be more. And they've come in many different sizes. There's like a real small one. And then we got a little bit of large and medium one, and they're even bigger than this for if you have a large dog. But to teach a dog to go to place is a key part of training. It's just giving him a target, teaching him how to calm down and relax and all that. Now we have another thing we like to talk about is food. Food, you want to think about is, if you're going to feed your dog kibble, look at the labels, look at the first few ingredients. You're going to look through it, and if it starts with wheat, barley, and all that kind of stuff, that's more fillers that turns into sugar, which helps. It's not good for the dogs. It's hard for them to digest sugar. So there is a dog food we've used for our dog. It's called Life Abundance. And the reason we like this is a single stage food. It's very simple. It's not too complex, but it has living probiotics in, which helps their stomach, helps their skin, and they can digest it a lot easier. I've had a lot of our clients using it. But even if you don't get the Life Abundance, I'll put a link below. I am an associate with them, so I get a little bit when you buy something. But when you're looking at dog foods, look at it. Some people like the raw food diet. I have 9 dogs, which is kind of hard for me to do it. But sometimes what you can do with dog food is you can add a raw egg in it, even the shell. Put that in there. Add, broccoli, kale, Greek yogurt, with no sugar in it. Add that to your food. What I highly recommend is, if you do add stuff to the food, add one item at a time, because then you can see if the dog doesn't agree with certain items. But if you add them all, you don't know which item you've pad to the dog, added to the dog, and they got upset about it. So like with Big Boy, I might put eggs in there, his dog food, some kale, some yogurt, and he's good to go. We even add omega fish oil, so it helps their skins and all that. But the biggest thing I tell people is the two things is have a leash. Have your dog on leash. You have to train your dog first on leash. Take it slow, let them decompress in the beginning, and calm down and be relaxed. Make sure you crate train your dog. I mean, and then after a year, if they're perfectly in the house, you don't have it, at least they know how to use a crate. Get the proper collars, we'll talk about that, the proper diet, and we'll be talking more about that. If you haven't watched any of these videos before, make sure you start from the beginning, and then I'll put it right about here where you can go back and watch video number 1. If you like these the videos, please give us a thumbs up. It helps us so more people can see this video. Hit that subscribe button. Our channel is growing. I would like to have people ask us questions in the comments below. Even if you tell us what's your dog breed or what is your favorite dog breed, comment below. But please hit that subscribe button. Smash that thumbs up button that gives love to all the dogs. And we will see you in the next video.